Hi skiers, this is Harald Harb, and today we're going to introduce some basics to build your off-piste skiing. And here we are at A Basin in February 19th, with great skiing and hardly anybody here, so we got to get some really good runs in and introduce the two key things that really will help you ski better, stronger, and more in control on off-piste snow and even some bumps, and the same movements will help you if you get a powder day. So let's go ahead and take a look. So here we are, now we're ready to look at some of the things that we really have to pay attention to if we're going to ski off-piste, off the groomed, and a little steeper terrain, and keep it together, and be able to control our turns, be able to make nice shorter round turns with really nice speed control, so we're comfortable. And that's the whole idea. We don't want to ski uncomfortably, with the idea that we might get out of balance and might lose it. So here's some basics. A lot of people ski on steep terrain or medium steep terrain, and they do a lot of this up and down stuff. They go up and down and they hit their edges hard, and then they have to stand up because they've hit their edges so hard. So one of the first things is we have to kind of change our timing in the steeps and off-piste type skiing. And by changing the timing means that we start using a flexing movement to get into the turns and a flexing movement to get out of the turns. So by getting into the turns, we mean flexing is lowering the body to get angles like this. All right. So when I'm standing in between turns, I want to get down lower a little bit and get my angles with my legs and my generated by the movements of my feet to get some tipping. But if my legs are stiff and I'm not bent, then I'm not going to get those angles. All right. That's to get more angles to hold you in the turn and to get good grip. Now to get out of that turn, now I'm in it. Now to get out of the turn, what you see is most people just kind of stand up out of there, and now they're totally extended and out of contact with the snow. They lose the connection with their edges to the snow. And when you do that, you pick up a lot of speed. And that's what really gets you out of control on a steep terrain. So if you can connect the turns so that you don't get out of contact with the snow, stay on the snow, and get closer from one finish with a curved turn, and then flip over your legs to get really back into your edges, you're going to be in control. So the idea there is get into the turn with your bent legs, and then stay bent as you cross to the other side, and then tip over and keep the edges working for you instead of totally getting out of that turn, extending, and then losing all that grip. Here's a great exercise that will show you and give you some experience and get that feeling of using your legs properly to begin a turn and to get out of a turn. So after I do that exercise, I like to go right up and see if I can ski some turns on a steep, ungroomed area, and see if I keep my knees flexed, just like I described before, where they stay flexed into the turn, tipping, building the angles, and then stay flexed right out of that turn without that upward extension. So we're going to do some more of this exercise, and I'll show you exactly what it can do. It's more involved than just putting your ski poles across the top of your knees. Obviously that part is really good for keeping your body bent and down low with the knees flexed or bent as you roll from side to side with your feet. But notice that my poles are there and my knees slide along the poles from one side to the other. That really gives me a good sense of how much you can stay bent with your knees as they tip from side to side. You tip your skis from side to side, and as you tip your feet over, you can feel the poles sliding on your knees. So that's a really good way to get a sense of, am I rolling my knees? Or am I like standing up and not really getting my knees across? Am I standing up and leaning, or standing up and tilting the upper body instead of the lower body? So that's the goal. That's one goal out of this exercise. And then I'll introduce the second part. So there's a lot to the way you use your poles on your knees. So we did use a new exercise with the poles across the knees, which gives you a sense of how to turn, connect turns with flexed legs without standing up. That's going to make a big difference in your skiing and transforms your skiing, actually. Now, when you get on steeper terrain, of course, and you don't use that, you may revert back to a little bit of popping up again. So you have to come back and revisit the exercise. The counteracting part, or the diagonal poles across the body, is created with the flexing. So that is an additional benefit to doing the exercise, and you can start orienting your upper body so that you're getting counteracting in your skiing while you're getting your flexing. So these two basic essentials are built into one exercise. And if you follow our exercise series, you'll also see that we have an upper body series with proper pole use and proper pole alignment with your body that supplements and strengthens counteracting. So all of these pieces fit together, and there's a lot of really good background and support for the PMTS system on our downloadable videos. So now, with the exercises being practiced, and I've done a few runs just with the exercise, I'm going to go up and ski some off-piste and show you how I build it into my skiing, implement it, and kind of keep it solid, keep it together with what I learned out of the exercise and what I felt was working for me.